Hi, this is Ed with Fener English, and today we're going to talk about comparative adjectives. Now, adjectives are words in the English language that describe or modify nouns, such as persons, places, or things, and they add an extra degree of description to someone, some place, or something. Comparative adjectives are used to compare the differences between the two objects they modify, such as something is larger or smaller, or something's faster or slower, or higher or lower. So let's take a look at some examples. First, when using comparative adjectives, we can use the word as with a normal adjective to say two things are the same. For example, John is as tall as Luke, or the red shirt is as expensive as the blue shirt. And we can also use the words not as to say two things are not the same. For example, Lucy is not as tall as Helen, and Paris is not as large as London. We can also say something is more than another thing by using the comparative adjective word than. For example, France is bigger than Scotland. Luke is taller than Lucy. Or your book is more interesting than my book. But notice on the previous examples that some comparative adjectives are created by simply adding the letters ER to the end of the main or root word. For example, big becomes bigger or tall becomes taller. But please know that the rule doesn't apply to all words consistently. Some words require a modifier like more or less in order to form the correct sentence structure. For example, you would not say, my book is interester than your book. We can make the comparison stronger or less strong by using the word far or much or a lot before the adjective. And conversely, we can lessen it by using a little or a bit. And the examples here would be Canada is far bigger than Scotland. Amanda is a lot younger than Julie. Your book is much more interesting than my book. And conversely, Scotland is a bit smaller than France. Lucy is less tall than Luke, and my book is less interesting than your book. The last example of comparative adjectives will show how something changes over time. Here we use the repetition of the same comparative to indicate this change. That child is getting taller and taller. The climate is getting hotter and hotter. The city is becoming more and more crowded. Now notice the last example only repeats the modifier word for the comparative adjective. And that's a look at how to use comparative adjectives to communicate the degree of difference in people, places, and things. In another lesson, we'll discuss the use of superlative adjectives to indicate the highest or lowest degree of comparison. Thanks so much for watching. If this video is helpful, subscribe to our channel and then visit our website today at fenerenglish.com to take your English to the next level.